Hello everyone, it's me, Matt. This is the Explorer's Box. It's day 20. We're at the home stretch. Today, I've got another really simple project for you. I'm going to show you how to turn an ordinary jam jar into an in-character light source. Now, as many adventurers need lights so they can see their friends and foes, many LARPers bring modern lights, like fairy lights or torches, to events so they can see where they're going. That's great and all, and usually there's some fluff in the world that allows fairy lights to exist, so you don't have to hide them away. But I'm going to give you a simple and easy way to hide them in a jar so it looks more in character. What you're going to need is any bog standard regular jam jar or marmalade jar or preserve jar. You're going to need some thin paper. Could possibly be the paper you've made with us. You're going to need some wood glue or some PVA, some modern battery operated fairy lights, and a paintbrush. Also, added options, if you've got some spray paint, we can spray the lid as well, or that can be painted. And I think that about covers everything. First things first, you're going to want to water your glue down a little bit, and ideally put it in a little pot for easy access. I've done about 3 or 4 parts glue to 1 part water. I think that should be gloopy enough. Next, you're going to want to rip up your paper into manageable chunks. If you rip it up, we're going to sort of collage it again, so it's going to look nice. We're going to want them to be about 1 inch square, maybe smaller, bits like that. They don't have to be uniform shapes. They can have more than 4 sides if you would like, but as long as they've got a nice feathered edge on each side, it'll look good. I'm going to rip up roughly the amount I'm going to need all in one go. So with our nice pile of paper pieces, you're going to want to paste glue all over one side and on your jam jar as well. And what we're going to do is, a bit like fiberglassing, we're just going to paste all of this paper onto the jar, and as the glue saturates, it will all mesh together. And then you want a bit of glue over the top as well. The glue, of course, will help protect it, so it's not just bare paper in the elements. You are going to get messy, but of course, as we know with PVA, the best bit about using this glue is peeling it off your skin afterwards. And basically, I'm going to do this for the entire jar. You can have overlap of the paper. It doesn't really matter, you can have as much or as little as you like. It will of course dull the light down a little bit, but it will also give you, you'll see the outlines of the shapes if it's overlapped, because they'll be, where it's double layered and thicker, it will be like a darker spot. So it's kind of up to you as to what you fancy. Of course, if you wanted like a stained glass effect, you could use coloured paper. That would look nice. I know Andy's mum's done some in the past where the paper had nice little stuff on it, so they all lit up. And yeah, like I say, basically keep going until your jar is covered. What I should have said is the paper I'm using is almost like tissue paper. It's very thin. To sort of gauge the thickness of the paper you've got, you want to be able to hold it up to a light and see sort of through it, see the grain of the paper. Because if it's any thicker, you know, even if it was as thick as regular printer paper, it's going to really diffuse the light very quickly. And we want to, yes, we want to cover up the glass jar, but we still want to be able to get as much light out of this as possible. Well, there we have it. That is an entirely sort of paper mache covered jar. Now I'm going to let this dry for a little bit and then we'll come back in a moment. Once your creation is dry, I'm going to suggest that you just do another layer of PVA over everything just to seal it all up and give it a little bit of protection. I am using a weatherproof wood glue. Now while that last coat is drying, I'm going to take my lid, and this is the optional part. So while I leave that to dry, we're on to the optional extra phase of the project. I've got my lid, I've just scuffed it up with a bit of fleece, and I'm going to spray it with some nice copper spray. There we have it, glue's dried, paint's dried, we're all good to go. I've taken the liberty of putting the fairy lights in already. And there you can see. There's some nice little overlaps of paper, so it looks all patchwork and lovely. But yeah, mine's very plain because I've just used regular kind of whitish grey handmade paper. If you're using coloured paper, it will look a lot more jazzy. I'm going to put the lid on. And that, I would say, is a perfect little in-character light.
That's well cute.
So, thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye!